those look good. A big salty clam would sure go great with this heat.
Just as a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, a CW series by any other name it appears will soon degenerate into Batwoman. We have episode 3 of the probably soon cancelled Gotham Knights, and it's still pretty bad, though maybe not quite as bad as Batwoman or Velma. To cut to the chase, watch Burn Notice instead, or Babylon 5 if you like sci-fi. They are much better series. Oh, Babylon 5, I can't wait for them to remake that so they can ruin it. In this episode of Gotham Knights, Robin commits aggravated assault on a gang leader and leaves him for the police, and she's congratulated the next day by Stephanie, the 29-year-old schoolgirl. Maybe she had to repeat a year 12 or 13 times. She says,
"Can't be easy picking up the bat mantle. That way you're catching extra Z's in the stacks."
And she's not in the stacks. I'm starting to see why Stephanie had to repeat a year 12 or 13 times. And then Stephanie says,
GCPD captures mutant gang leader. The press always gets it wrong. Another case of a man taking credit for a woman's work.
the CW writers just can't help themselves. They try to be feminist and end up just being sexist. There is so much wrong with that line. Firstly, the GCPD got credit in the press for the person's arrest, not a man. Secondly, who's to say the arresting officer wasn't a woman? Thirdly, the headline is technically right. The GCPD did capture the gang leader. He was unconscious when they found him, but they did. Fourthly, this is the writers editorialising again and writing their hatred for men into the show, where it doesn't even fit with the facts of their own story. There was no man taking credit in this story, so Gotham Knights is still plenty bad, but it's still better than Batwoman.
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be. When it fits a woman. I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
I still can't believe she said that while standing in Bruce's Batcave, wearing Bruce's suit and using Bruce's equipment. At least Robin in Gotham Knights does slightly better by not wanting credit and glory and caring more about justice than her own ego. Stephanie, the 29-year-old, then gets invited to a gala by her rich boyfriend. So rewind to the scene that Robin was getting praise for, capturing the leader of a gang called the Mutants, imaginatively called the Mutant Leader. He's leader of a major street gang in Gotham, and he appears to be buying illegal weapons in this scene. It's sporting of this gang leader to come alone and leave all of his gang behind. I'm not sure how he was going to move all of the stuff out of the middle of this alley, or why the arms dealers delivered it to an alley, or why he's alone, or why Robin needed to do anything at all, because the police are going to arrive in this alley in about 1 minute anyway. But look at me with my silly logic. They're clearly trying to set a terrible fight up. And don't be concerned about none of this scene making any sense at all. And I hope they're illegal weapons, because this man has cases of what look like RPGs, and they're apparently legal to own in large parts of the US after a background check and a tax. So Big Guy here may be completely legal and in the right, unlike Robin here, who just threw a batarang into his chest, so that would appear to be aggravated assault, a felony. So yes, the heroes of your show, as a general rule, should not be committing more crimes than the villains of your show. But maybe he's a wanted man, maybe he did something, but the problem is, the series hasn't shown us him doing anything illegal so far, and the heroes are instead acting like the villains again. And the whole fight scene is atrocious. At one point, the mutant leader has Robin in a chokehold, lifted fully off the floor, but is nice enough to let her go so she can climb on his back. But she can't win. He's too strong. She wins instead by guile. She fires a grappling hook at him that he catches, and then fires another hook sideways into an electrical box, electrocuting him. But not herself. She's fine. The circuit grounds through the thing that she's holding in her hands and then through him, but she's fine despite the fact that she's holding it too. Maybe it's really well insulated, and never mind that this was an open high voltage electrical panel open to the elements in the middle of an alley. So yeah, none of that worked. The first time that alley got rained on, it would burn the building down. So it didn't work at all, but it worked for Robin. And then we get into one of the few good things about the show so far. Olivia Rose Keegan playing the Joker's daughter Duella. I actually found to be quite good in this episode. She was one of the few good things in the episode, and frankly, she deserves to be in something better. The Gotham Knights are continuing their investigation into who offed Batman while being hunted by the police, so laying low as usual, they decide to break into the police station and steal files, and man is it silly. Deadname dresses up as a cop, and there is so much I want to say about this scene, but I can't on YouTube. I think they're already burying my videos. This person cannot really pass as a police officer. They stick out like a sore thumb, despite the fake moustache that makes them look like they're in the film Bugsy Malone. There's the inconvenient problem of their voice repeatedly breaking.
No, I don't want to hear it. You walked into a building with a bomb in it, because you've been treating me like some weak, scared little kid.
You know who they should have sent? The 29-year-old. She could pass for a policewoman. The male officers would probably be very helpful because she's very pretty, and as an extra bonus, she's the one member of your group who's not the subject of an active manhunt. The mutant gang blow up a police blimp in revenge for their leader being captured, and the Knights go to investigate. Bruce Wayne's son saves Robin from being shot in the head, and she's annoyed with him. And what is this nonsense? She says she had him. What do you mean you had him? If he'd pulled the trigger, you'd be with Batman now.
What? I had him.
She's annoyed that the goon is now unconscious and they can't question him, so they walk off. They don't wake him up and question him. They don't take him away for questioning. They don't even disarm him. If he wakes up, he'd still have his gun. The Knights discover that the mutants stole ingredients for a chemical gas bomb, and this is a bit nitpicky on my part, but the chemistry here is an atrocity. Apparently the mutants stole nitrobromide and uridium oxidate, and that could have been really deadly if they'd just added some "we made it up"ium. There's no such thing as uridium oxidate as far as I can find, and the label for the nitrobromide is entirely wrong. Nitrobromide exists, but they have the wrong systematic name for it on the label, and they have confused nitrobromide with paranitrobenzyl bromide, and this kind of shows that the writers don't care about their own series. They care about spreading hate of men, and they care enough to write that in, but don't care enough to research the plot of their own show. And the Joker's daughter uses her experience of villains to guess what the mutants are going to do with the gas bomb. The mutants are going to the big gala party to take everyone hostage, and they send some dozen or so armed gang members to do this. The mutants intend to rob everyone at the gala, then use them as hostages to force the release of their captured leader. Then they're going to gas the hostages anyway while they all escape. It just so happens to be the gala Stephanie, the 29-year-old, is at with her rich boyfriend and his extremely sus parents, who are probably both in the Court of Owls. One or both of them would appear to be. They heavily hint it's the dad, but it may well be the nicer mum instead, who I quite like as an actress. She was a recurring character in Burn Notice, which was a much better series. The Knights get to the gala, beat up the mutants, mostly off camera, and how I love to see that. Or not see it. They defuse the bomb with a lot of bickering that someone then uses to off the corrupt mayor. Conclusion: this series is a complete f*** up. Watch Burn Notice instead.
Could you make him a cup of tea, please, Stephanie?